And we're back. I started it up, and here's where it's at. It has the updates supposedly in it. I don't know. But now we are doing the checking file system on C. The type of file system is NTFS. A disk check has been scheduled. Windows will now check the disk. So as you can see, we are checking the disk. I hope you can see that. We're at 3%. Once again, don't know how long this will take. Actually, I came back after, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and the updates were done. Let's see how long this takes. Once this is done, once we get it all booted up, we get it all running, let it boot up into Windows and do everything, then we're going to shut it down again, and we're doing our Kaspersky antivirus. I will show you how to do that, what you need to do. I'm not going to show you how to make one. I can do that. I'm going to ask if there's any comments. If anybody wants me to do any more computer stuff, I will. If it seems popular. If not, then oh well. So let's let this continue, do what it has to do. When it's done, again, I'll be back. We'll let her go into Windows and we'll continue on our way. I came back because this is going a little quicker than what I thought, so maybe we can catch this in the process. We're actually, it's the security decryptors. We're in stage 3 of 3, it says down here. We're 69% complete, and we're through almost all of our files, and it's going rather quickly. So we'll see if we can catch it finishing this up and booting. Windows has finished checking your disk. Please wait while your computer restarts. That went a lot quicker than what I thought, which is probably a good thing because it means there wasn't a whole lot of errors, I would assume. So we're starting up Windows. We're going to let everything boot, everything start. I think I've done everything I wanted to except run the Kaspersky to try to find the viruses. So let's let it boot up. Basically, we'll shut it back down. What you have to do also is, and I spoke about this earlier in the video, you have to get it to boot from USB. Sometimes Windows 7 and above can be a stinker because they change the BIOS. I'm not going to try to get into all that because I really don't understand it. I was getting out of it by then with fixing the computers, so I didn't worry about it. We'll see how we make out getting into this one and how much of a pain it is. I think the Lenovo you can relatively easily because, well, I have a Toshiba. I thought I had a Lenovo that I was working on that it was actually relatively easy to get in there. But let's let it boot up, get everything straightened out, lined up, make sure the universe is good. Still Windows, it can only get so good. May take a little while to start it up. Once it does something like this, especially with, you know, your check disk or something, until it gets on the first boot and gets everything, best way I can say it is sort of lined up, it could take a little bit of time. I'll let the camera run. I may cut some of this out depending how long it takes, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll start after all this. Won't that be a stinker? And it wouldn't be the first time. All I know is I don't get too excited about it anymore because usually it ended up I could fix them, even if they bunged up a little bit. But you gotta take the chance. You just gotta let it do its thing. And people don't understand the amount of time that it takes to fix a computer a lot of times. because I started this, I forget what day I started this, 2 days ago. I can't even remember when I started this video. But all I know is, I think I started it, okay, I must have started it Thursday night, and it's now Saturday morning. But till you run the programs, let them run. It's very time consuming. That's why a computer shop normally, they're working on 3, 4, 5 computers, because you can be working on one while the other ones are doing their updates, doing their scans, doing their checks, doing their viruses. Once again here, we should have everything now and everything aligned here, but look at the time it's taking to get the computer ready just to boot up for the first time after doing the check disk and that. As you can see, it's still configuring the updates, still working on it. If you are an impatient person, which I am, but when I was fixing computers, I had to learn to be less impatient, especially with Windows. Sorry, but it's true. You have to be patient and just wait it out sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work, and it's basically a waste of time, but, you know, what can you do? And that's the other thing. After we run Kaspersky, then what we're going to want to do is update this thing to Windows 10. So it's all very time consuming. Okay, let's see what she does. I hope everything's still there and nothing got lost or... And hopefully we can get it to update to Windows 10. I'm thinking after doing all this and hopefully getting the updates in here, that we will. Scary, isn't it, when you get a black screen with nothing on it? And sometimes I've had them stuck with something like that, and I've just had to reboot them again and keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best. I've never really had a major problem with any of them, but I'm not saying you won't. And once again, I'll repeat, it took quite a bit of time to get to this point, but a part of it is because of all the stuff we threw at this thing to get around to doing what it's doing. We'll just see. I actually think it's booted and ready to go. Let's just open up the file folder, see how quickly that responds. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Go into the C drive. Alright, I'm convinced she's good. We got everything booted up. That worked pretty well. We're not going to boot it up again. It went through its whole thing. We're not going to download Windows. Next thing is to try and get Kaspersky to run. I'm just shutting it down. What you have to do is you have to hit F12, telling it to restart. You have to hit F12 to try and get it to boot from USB. I honestly don't know how this is going to work. I've done 1 or 2 of them, but who knows. So we're just shutting down. At the moment, it's not trying to put any updates in, which is a good thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tap on the F12 key like this to get our menu. What we want to boot from is number 3 here, which is the USB HDD to flash drive. I'm hoping it'll boot from it. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to go into the BIOS and change some settings in there. Oh, hey, we're in like Flynn. So what I did was I made a bootable USB drive, which there's stuff on the internet how to do that. If anybody has any interest and they get comments on the video, they want to see some of this stuff, let me know. I'll try and do videos on it. Once this boots, the first thing you want to do is you want to go into it and get your updates. I put updates on this yesterday from another computer because it can be time consuming. So it should be updated. What we'll do is we'll go in and we'll actually see if it has the current file, which should be yesterday's date, the 18th. The other thing I'm going to do is when you come down here to this side, oh, let me move my camera a little bit. Let me back out of here. What you want to do also when you come here is down here in this corner, I'll point from this side, down here in this corner is your internet connection. So you just go on that. Well, that's a stinker. This computer, obviously, I thought it had operating system was asking me, it is a Windows setup. I thought this had a wireless card. The only thing I can figure out, it tells me a database obsolete. My update center. Son of a gun. Now I had this updated, and I even went through the shit. Tells me it's obsolete. I can't get this on. It says it wants a wired network, VPN connections. It's not finding the wireless card in here. So we'll have to go a different way. I thought I had this thing updated. That really pisses me off because I tried to do it. I don't want it. It takes so long to do it, but what I can do, there's a couple things I can do. I can put a wireless card in here that I have. It's still going to take a while to do this, but let me. I have a wireless thumb. Probably can't see it. Looks like a USB drive, but this actually works with most Linux. So let's plug it in, see if it recognizes it. I don't know if it will. Alright. It found it. And then you got to type in your password. And then it tells you to put a key ring in, password. I just put none in. Now we're connected to the wireless network. Now we should be able to do these updates. That just does it. It pisses me off because this takes a while. So we'll let this update. Basically, that's all you have to do. You have to get an internet connection, and then you got to come in here and you got to update this. I tried a method that I thought had me with the actual updates. It was a method I found online to do it. Didn't work for me, so we'll just have to let it update. And you know, like I said, what sucks is it's obsolete on the 14th of last February. Here we are, we're almost a year, so it's going to take a while. We'll let it do that. Once the updates are done, we'll come back and we'll run the scan, which that'll take a while. So once again, I'm just reiterating, this crap does not just happen. You have to, it all takes time. And we're back. Now, if you can't see it, basically it says our database now is 1219 of 15, which is cool. We're completed. That's great. Like I said, the only thing I don't like about this Kaspersky is the dang thing won't save these updates when you pull the USB out and go to another one. So I'm trying to get a program that I can do this. I As I've mentioned numerous times, I've sort of got out of this, and I wasn't too worried about having one because I just didn't do that many computers, but it's really a pain in the ass when I'm trying to do them and I got to go through all that. So okay, so now since we have all this done, we can exit. No, we don't want to exit. I'm sorry. Scratch that. We want to go to Object Scan. Disk boot sectors, hidden startup objects, we want to do that. This has all kinds of drive. These SDA 1, 2, 4, and 5, they're all drives to scan. I'm not too sure. The SDA 1 or 2 is probably the main one. But just to be sure, and just to get them all, we're going to put a little check in all of these. Let it check all of them. It's going to take a while, but then we know. So, scan your computer, start object scan. We're going to go up here and do the start object scan. You'll see a nice little percentage of what it's doing. There's bar going across 0%. It's a pretty big drive. I don't know how long this is going to take. So once again, this is all it's going to do. When it's done, I'll come back and I will show you the results of what we got and what it found and how to determine what we want to do from there. One of the things I want to do is, come to think of it, I'm going to go up in here. This is the settings. I'm going to go up to the settings menu. You want to come in here, and on detection threat it says prompt when scan is complete. That's what I want to do. I want to prompt when scan is complete. I don't like the prompt on detection. It'll tell you, and the last time I did that, I had to you had to tell it every time what you wanted to do to it, if you wanted to keep the file or whatever you wanted to do. So what I'm going to do in here is also in select action, the two ticks are disinfect and delete if disinfection fails. That's what I want to do. I just, okay, it's not even going to prompt me now when scan is complete. What it's going to do is it's just going to disinfect and delete whatever, which I've never had any problem doing that. I'm okay with it. If it finds a virus, I trust it. So let's apply these settings, tell it okay, and on we go. So there, we're still only 1% done. And what was popping up was it was telling us that some files were password protected. It couldn't get in to scan them. I'm not going to do anything about that either. We're just going to let her go. So we're at 1%. We're going to let this run. Once it gets to 100%, I'll come back, show you what screen comes up, and there we'll go. Kaspersky tells me that I have 1 minute left and we're at 98%, so we'll see the finishing up process on this and what to do, and then after Kaspersky's done running, we'll see if how many viruses there is, and we'll reboot the computer and go from there. So I'll let her run here. Probably be longer than 1 minute. You can never trust these things. And it's done. So, detected legal software that can be used by criminals to damage your computer or personal data. Object, not a virus. It found, the way it looks, it found one thing in that whole scan. So what we're going to do is, let me move my camera just a hair. It's telling me up here what it detected. It's not a virus. Delete recommended. Skip. We're going to go with delete. I'm going to click apply to all objects, even though I think there's only one here that it's showing. And we're just going to tell it to delete it. And it's going to save a scan log. Okay, when I clicked on this down here, it actually brought up the deleted items, and there's 14 of them. And if I scroll through it, there was no viruses. It was all adware. So my suspicion is what mung this computer up in the first place was Windows updates coming in for some reason. So we'll close out of this. Are you sure you want to? Yep, we're done with that. I'm going to hit yes. Then basically what we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're going to tell it to restart. It'll go through its notions here. Do you really want to restart the computer? Yes. And then we'll let it go through, and before it reboots, we're going to pull out the USB stick that has Kaspersky on it. Kaspersky, whatever. Can't get too technical about this. Alright, ejecting CD-ROM, it's a USB, so we'll pull the stick out. We'll let her boot and see what she does. And then when I come back in the next part, or in the next session here, we will be seeing how we make out with this thing updating to Windows 10, and if it will now download the update to Windows 10. I'm hoping it does. If not, we can go into Microsoft's knowledge base. There's a program that you can run to fix updating problems. We'll cross that bridge if we get to it. Hopefully not. I'm hoping now that the Windows 10 will take and we can get this thing updated. And if it takes that update to Windows 10 and everything runs smoothly, I'm going to say that's a fix, and we'll give it back to the person as a fixed machine. And what I may do is, I hate to let the camera run. I have other things I got to do, but I was going to try the Windows update, but we won't be able to see it. I'm going to start the update because I have other things to do. Maybe we can get this update on here. If it updates with no problems, I'll bring you back and we'll go through the process of installing it. And if it doesn't take it, I'll bring you back when I see that it didn't take it, and we'll just go from there and try that Windows update, the program to fix the updates in Windows so that it does take the updates. Now I have no circle spinning, no nothing. Let's just open a folder, see how quickly it opens the folder. It's going to be a little slow because it's still doing some things, but there's your C drive. Okay, let's click on this. Down here is the Windows 10 update. I know it's probably right at the edge of this. Here's the Windows 10 update. Looks like a set of windows, so we'll hit it. Again, earlier in the video we did that too and didn't get much there, but we are hooked up to the internet through my connection. I'm going to start the download and upgrade later because I haven't done that option before. So once the download is complete, you can start the upgrade or schedule it for later. Let's see if it takes it. Either way, when I get back to the computer, I'll turn the camera on and we'll see what it does. Cross your fingers, folks, that this sucker takes this. I think personally it should because I cleaned everything up, but I've been known to be wrong before. So we'll stop here. Be back when we have whatever with this downloaded or not downloaded. Let's see what happens with this update so far. I don't think it worked. Let's go here. There's some Start download, upgrade, start download, upgrade later. That's what we want to do. We're starting to download. We'll see what happens here. I think it'll give me an error. It looks like it downloaded 15%, but it gives me the error. And then once it gives me the error, there's actually a troubleshooter. So we'll try the troubleshooter before I actually... Well, let's get the updater. While this is doing this, let's get the updater downloaded over here. I'm going to swing over here to my other computer in a minute. Once I get it booted up. That was not doing much. I went to Microsoft's support page. It's I just did a search on Windows won't update. So I went in there, and what I did was there is this fix it for the updater that you can download to a USB. So I'm going to plug in my USB. And all I did was I hit this run now, and then down here it put a file down here. So let's go in here. And you get an option when you click on the arrow on the side of it, you get an option to open, always open files of this type, or show in folder. I'm going to show in the folder. And right there it is. Update diagnostics. It's right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click. I'm going to copy. Then I'm going to open up. Well, actually, I'm just going to come over here to my Kingston D, which is my USB I plugged in. I'm going to right click again and hit paste. So now that put that file on my thumb drive. So now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to eject my thumb drive from here. Make sure it lets me do it. Eject. Eject. Alright. I'm clicking on it, don't give me the option, so I guess it ejected it. So let's pull it out. Now, we're going to swing back over to the other computer. Okay, we swung back over to the other computer, and if you notice, Windows 10 couldn't be installed. So before I use my USB, I'm going to go down here because it goes, go to get help with this error. Right here. I'm going to click on that. Comes up behind there. Okay, and that's the 800700003 error. So I click on that. You're not connected or online. Topic not found. Well, I am online. So what the schmegalies? Connected? Alright. Well, let's try again to get help with this error. Alright, I don't know why it didn't work the first time, but now we got options here. The Windows update fixes this problem with the Windows update. It might resolve this error for you. That's what I downloaded onto the USB, but I'm going to go here anyhow. If that didn't work, try the following services. To stop the Windows Update service, we're going to go to that. Click to open administrative tools. Okay, we're going to do that. And there it opened administrative tools. We're going to move that to the side. Then it says double click services. If you're prompted for administrator password or confirmation, type the password or provide confirmation. Double click services. Alright, down here services. You gotta double click it. So I did that. Now it says Click the name column heading to sort the names in reverse order. Find the Windows Update service, right click and stop it. Alright, well let's bring this over. We're scrolling down. W's. Windows Update. Oops. We're going to stop it. Okay. We're going to close out of that. We're going to close out of that. Now, to delete now, and we're going to do all these. I'm just going to take a shotgun approach and delete temporary files. Click to open computer. All right. Double click the hard disk, which is C. Your local drive is C. Double click the Windows folder. All right, Windows folder is right here. And then double click the software distribution folder. Yeah, this will get rid of the files. I've done this before. Software distribution, it's in alphabetical order. Double click the data store folder to open it and delete all files in that folder. Data store. Click the data, open it, and click all files in the and delete all files in that folder. Alright, so we'll highlight that. We'll hit shift, we'll highlight that, we'll hit delete. We want to sure, yes. We're going to tell it to continue. Alrighty, so it took care of that. Delete all files in the folder. Click back, okay, so we click the back button. In the software distribution, double click the download folder. Alright. Delete all files in the folder and then close the window. Alright, so we'll go to, we'll highlight that one. Then we'll scroll down. We'll hold the control key. Click on the bottom one. Oops, I'm sorry. Should have clicked on the shift key. Let's go back up. So now that'll highlight all of them. I'm going to reread this to make sure. Software distribution folder, double click the download folder, delete all files in the folder, and then close the window. Alright, here we go. Yep. Continue. I sort of thought my one program downloaded him, but then I guess not. So it tells you to get rid of this. Okay. To restart the Windows up, okay, if you continue to see the error. Well, let's see what happens. Let's close that. Let's close that. I'm half tempted to reboot, but it doesn't tell me to do that, so we'll just see what happens. Alright, start download, upgrade later, start downloading. So here we are waiting for this. If that doesn't work, I am going to try what I loaded on my I'm going to try rebooting, and then I'll try what I have on my USB stick. If that doesn't work, well, Windows has pretty much left me out of options. I'll have to try and find some other options to try and get this done. Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off for now. If this starts downloading, I'll come back.